The Royal Rumble is full of surprises, including surprise entrants. It's also known for missing and replaced entrants as well. Here is part 1 of the missing and replaced entrants in Royal Rumble history. Number 1. The Royal Rumble 1990. The WWF's resident walking and squawking superstar the Red Rooster would replace the Widowmaker, aka Barry Windham. Whilst it wasn't announced on television, the official program listed Windham as a participant. Windham would move to WCW before the Rumble would take place. Number 2. Royal Rumble 1991. 1991's Rumble saw Randy Savage running for his life after he interfered in the Ultimate Warrior's WWF Championship match against Sergeant Slaughter. After the match, the Ultimate Warrior went looking for Savage after the Macho Man cost him his title, which resulted in Savage never showing up for the Royal Rumble match, presumably with the Warrior chasing him out of the arena. No one would take over Savage's spot, and in rightful fashion, Monsoon mentioned that if a participant failed to come out until the next participant, he ultimately forfeits his entry. The 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant, was scheduled for the Rumble, but his body had other plans. Sadly, his body was deteriorating to the point where he couldn't walk without assistance. Consequently, an appearance in the Rumble would have been too much for Andre at this point, and depending on whom you believe, Tito Santana or Brian Knobbs took Andre's spot. Supposedly, if Andre entered the Royal Rumble, he was to be the man to eliminate The Undertaker. Another replacement included the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, the Honky Tonk Man, who had enough of what he felt was an inconsistent push and was largely unhappy with Rhythm and Blues tag team partner Greg Valentine's lackluster attitude towards the team. In fact, Valentine had been asked to dye his hair black as part of his new persona, but was unhappy with it. Consequently, the Honky Tonk Man asked for his release, so the WWF replaced him with his partner, Greg Valentine. Playboy Buddy Rose was another replacement, as despite being the innovator of the Buddy Rose blowaway diet, there seemed to be no end in sight for Playboy Buddy Rose's weight gain. Nevertheless, he remained a consistently talented performer, capable of putting on good matches despite his weight. Rose was working as enhancement talent and was scheduled for the Rumble, but ultimately missed it, leading to a young Shane Douglas filling in for him. Number 3. The Royal Rumble 1992. After Marty Jannetty had his head thrown through a plate glass window during the legendary breakup involving Jannetty and his former Rockers partner Shawn Michaels, he was replaced by Haku, with the story being Jannetty was still injured from the attack. Unfortunately, Marty's personal demons, or Shawn Michaels' political machinations, depending on what story you believe, led him to getting fired from the WWF before he could participate in the Rumble. One half of the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobbs, also had to sit out the 1992 Rumble due to what was described as a separated shoulder. However, a newspaper account from January 1992 reveals Knobbs and fellow Nasty Boy Jerry Saggs were attacked by 3 fans following a match in Illinois. Knobbs was stabbed, thus the real reason for his absence. As a result, Nikolai Volkov took over for Nasty Boy Knobbs. Though this was a singles match, Rowdy Roddy Piper replaced Bret Hart in the Intercontinental title match against the Mountie. Bret was unable to compete that night due to a high temperature, which was at 104 degrees. Number 4. Royal Rumble 1993. Kevin Wacholz, aka Nails, was rumoured to be given a big push in the WWF. The big man played a former convict who sought revenge against former prison guard the Big Boss Man, and thereafter was set to begin a program with The Undertaker. However, Wacholz got himself fired after reportedly choking Vince McMahon in his office over a pay dispute. Instead, the lackluster Damien Demento would step in, making his Royal Rumble debut and lasting 12 minutes, and for most part standing outside the ring witnessing The Undertaker's beatdown by Giant Gonzalez. The Ultimate Warrior, who was also scheduled, as seen on the official poster, found himself in hot water after he tested positive for human growth hormones. The WWF had begun a strict testing policy for performance-enhancing drugs after the federal government began cracking down on said drugs. Mr. Perfect would replace him, and the Warrior would not return until 1996. Hawaiian star Crush was also amongst the lineup for the 1993 Royal Rumble. That is until evil clown Doink attacked him with a fake arm, knocking Crush out as well as knocking him out of the Rumble. Max Moon, aka Paul Diamond, took Crush's spot and Crush went on to feud with Doink, leading to their match at WrestleMania 9. Lastly, the British Bulldog would be another casualty of the WWF's new drug testing policy, finding himself out of a job after testing positive for human growth hormones. Puerto Rican legend Carlos Colon took the Bulldog's place. But no discussion of the 1993 Royal Rumble would be complete without discussing the rumour that Max Moon and Tatanka were not allowed in the Rumble at the same time, as there was real life heat between Diamond and Tatanka because Diamond was having an affair with Tatanka's wife. Number 5. Royal Rumble 1994. The Bastion Booger was seen in a pre-match vignette drawing his number and revealing his number was to be number 28. However, saying your number out loud is funnily enough against the rules, so when Booger redrew his number, he still got a very good chance of winning at number 25. But in a case of wrestling irony, the Booger missed the 1994 Rumble due to a case of food poisoning. Intimidating Finnish wrestler Brock Lesnar version 1, Ludwig Borger, was being pushed heavily, with rumours spreading he was headed for a run as WWF champion. However, a serious ankle injury sidelined Borger, keeping him out of the Royal Rumble as well as the WWF Championship picture. Borger would be gone from the WWF later that year, but at the Rumble, he was supposed to face Tatanka in a one-on-one match. But Bam Bam Bigelow stepped in to replace Borger and worked double duty, as he was also in the Rumble at number 15, still giving one of the best big man performances in any Rumble to date. The Ugandan giant Kamala was also on his way out of the WWF, so the company saw fit to replace him with Virgil. To no one's surprise, Virgil did not win the Rumble, barely lasting half a minute before being eliminated by Diesel. Lastly, in 1994, the 1-2-3 Kid's absence from the Rumble is one of the most mysterious on our list. There seems to be no information why the Kid missed the Rumble nor who his replacement was. One story has it, Quang the Ninja replaced him, while another lists Sparky Plug, aka Bob Holly, as his replacement. Number 6. The Royal Rumble 1995. The duo of the 1-2-3 Kid and Sparky Plug Bob Holly were replaced in the Rumble by the Heavenly Bodies after they received a WWF Tag Team Championship match at the Rumble. This proved to be a good move, as there was little chance of the Kid or Holly winning the Rumble. Former Hart Foundation member Jim the Anvil Neidhart would leave the WWF in late 1994, so the company replaced him with the model Rick Martel. This was the latest in the Anvil's many departures from the WWF. Number 7. The Royal Rumble 1996. Bam Bam Bigelow had enjoyed his best run in the WWF in 1993 to 1995, which included his main event appearance at WrestleMania 11 against NFL star Lawrence Taylor. However, by 1996, the Clique was reportedly using his political stroke to make life miserable for Bigelow. Instead, Bigelow headed to ECW and was replaced by Hakushi. There were also a number of stories that Sabu was scheduled for the 96 Rumble and ready to put on an unforgettable performance, including a spot where he eliminated himself. Legend has it, Sabu was to eliminate an opponent, slide under the bottom rope, then put the opponent on a table. Sabu would follow up by running across the ring and moonsaulting over the top rope, putting his opponent through a table. Unfortunately, that never happened because Paul Heyman talked Sabu out of going to the Rumble. Number 8. The Royal Rumble 1998. Disciples of the Apocalypse member Skull found himself taken out due to a case of mistaken identity. In 1997, Vince McMahon put a bounty on anyone who could eliminate Stone Cold Steve Austin from the Royal Rumble. The members of Los Boricuas attacked the bald-headed Skull, mistaking him for Austin. As a result, Skull missed the Rumble, with no one taking his place. Also, the French-Canadian superstars the Quebecers were replaced at the last minute when Vince McMahon decided to replace them with the three faces of Foley, which included Mick Foley's personas of Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Dude Love. But even with 3 times the chance of winning a Rumble, Foley still couldn't get the win. Triple H was also scheduled for the 1998 Rumble, that is until a knee injury put him on the shelf. As a result, the Honky Tonk Man would replace him. Number 9. The Royal Rumble 1999. 1999 was not a good year for Headbanger Mosh. First, he was taken out by Mabel so the big man could take his spot in the Royal Rumble. Later that year, Mosh was repackaged in the terrible gimmick Beaver Cleavage. Luckily for Mosh, he survived the gimmick and reformed the Headbangers tag team. Number 10. The Royal Rumble 2000. The 2000 Royal Rumble saw many replacements, and while there's no official reason for the replacements, it's possible the WWF may have just wanted to amp up the show's star power. The original entrants included Headbanger Thrasher, Taka Michinoku and Funaki of Kaientai, the Mean Street Posse, Midian, and Mark Henry. They found themselves being replaced by Chris Jericho, Chyna, The Acolytes, the New Age Outlaws, Hardcore Holly, and Bob Backlund. Angry at the fact they weren't in the Rumble anymore, both Kaientai and all three members of the Mean Street Posse would continuously interfere, only to get eliminated each time. For Taka, however, he couldn't make one of the run-ins after his face met the outside floor, causing a mild concussion. And number 11, the Royal Rumble 2001. The 2001 Royal Rumble saw the team of D'Lo and Chaz defeat Kaientai in a dark match, with the two winners getting a chance to enter the Royal Rumble. However, Vince McMahon changed his mind, putting comedian Drew Carey in their place. Unfortunately, or fortunately, there were no Royal Rumble replacements or missing wrestlers for 2002 and 2003, but we will continue the next set of Royal Rumbles chronologically in the next part, so be sure to tune in, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.